welcome to 23 Degrees Sideways. We are driving in the rain, so you're going to have to deal with some noise, like the windshield wipers and the rain. The hero's journey is something that exists where external stuff happens, right? But that's not important what external stuff is happening. What's important is the internal experience and the internal alchemy. The comic book journey is the journey where all the external stuff makes you, okay? Look what you did to me, you made me this way, is the standard line of the villain, right? The villain is made into a villain. The hero is made into a hero. You know, the radioactive spider bite, the super whatever, chemical drug, well, something happens, you know? It's not an internal process. The internal alchemy of the hero's journey is much more aligned with what you would think of as enlightenment and what you need to do, kind of, because need is a very funny word here. One of the options that you have to attain or experience or get into enlightenment, to jump the fence, is that internal alchemy. That's that distinction between the external making you and your internal alchemy, your internal experience. You can have the absolute shittiest life on the planet and still have an internal alchemy, an internal awakening, enlightenment experience. Or you can have the best life on the planet and only be the product of external influences. And a lot of this, of course, depends on awareness and what you get. Mind, body, habits, all of this stuff. So it's something to consider. I really want you to consider this, all right? Internal alchemy versus external influence. And how do you treat these things? How do you treat your past experiences? Are they just things that you can let go of and forget and not even remember? Or are they stories that define who you are? When you meet a new person, you need to say, I am this because of this. I had a bad experience with a roommate. I had a great experience with my mother. My father was abusive. Like, is that what defines you? That is the comic book journey. I have been made. Okay? Versus, this is who I am. This is what I love. This is what I want to do. This is my adventure. This internal alchemy. Pay attention to this. Another thing that I talk about often is there's a kind of object versus non-object love. And so I talk about things as if there's a greater and a lesser, okay? But it's not really right. It's not right to say greater and lesser. There are different levels of experience. Most people only experience love as something with an object. I love you. I love roses. I love strawberry ice cream. And if you actually have love for strawberry ice cream, not just a desire to eat it, that's great, but kind of weird, right? I feel extremely romantic about strawberry ice cream. So that's love with an object. And most people who talk about love, especially when they're talking about religious, holy, help the world, meta, Buddhist version of meta with 2 T's, they're talking about love with an object. Love the world. Love these. Not the experience of love. You can experience love, just love. It is an experience of love. There's no object to it. There's no subject to it. There's just love. Love. And they're 2 different things. And there's a couple different things about that, like joy and happiness. We try to use different words, but basically you have happiness that has an object, and then you have happiness that is the default state of being in the universe. No object, just right? My default state of being. It's fantastic. It's great. It's the whole point to enlightenment, honestly. Wow. So, when you look at these things, when you look at the stories, when you look at external influences and stuff like that, one of the things to consider, one of the things to really look at is Are you having an object experience, or are you having an experience experience? You can't necessarily actually feel one of these things. If it's not there, it's not there, right? You don't necessarily just get it. But when you do get it, grab onto that thing and milk it, okay? Like really, really squeeze it, adopt it, sink into it, make it you, because it is one of the keys of enlightenment, whichever way you define enlightenment. The experience of experience without an object. So there you go. Hero's journey, comic book journey, and experience without an object. There's a little bit more I need to add to that later, but I'll do it in a separate video. Stay sideways.